The pressure to sign Stefon Diggs has never been higher for the Washington Commanders, and it's only day 2 of training camp. With injuries already popping up at receiver and the market for veteran pass catchers quietly collapsing around them, this front office is running out of time and running out of alternatives. Let's break down exactly why this situation has reached a genuine collision course and why Diggs might actually be the perfect mentor for one of this team's most promising rookies. Let's start with how we even got here. Once Deebo Samuel returned home to San Francisco on a modest one-year deal, that removed one obvious alternative from the market entirely. And realistically, once this coaching staff changed offensive coordinators and installed a new scheme, Deebo likely was never a great long-term fit here anyway. This team wants either a truly complete receiver or a genuine burner. And Deebo's specialty as a gadget-style playmaker overlaps too much with pieces already on this roster, like Antonio Williams, Jalen Lane, and Luke McCaffrey. What's genuinely notable is just how far the veteran receiver market has fallen this offseason. Jawan Jennings signed a modest one-year, $8 million deal after one of the more productive seasons of his career. Deebo Samuel settled for 1 year and $7 million. Both of those players are younger but statistically less accomplished than Stefon Diggs, and yet here we are, deep into training camp, with Diggs still sitting unsigned. Now, to be clear, this isn't a fan base that should believe its entire season lives or dies based on landing one specific free agent. Diggs is good, but he's not walking in and single-handedly saving this offense on his own. That said, he's always represented the far more realistic, sensible target compared to other disgruntled veteran names still floating around the league who simply aren't walking through that door. And the timing here genuinely matters. Just 2 days into camp, a promising young receiver is already dealing with a minor foot injury and missing practice time. The defense, meanwhile, looks like an absolute nightmare through the first 2 sessions, which is exactly what you'd hope for after this front office invested heavily in that side of the ball this offseason. It's still far too early to draw sweeping conclusions from just a couple of practices. Nobody looks like a Super Bowl team 2 days into camp, and it's completely normal for a defense to look ahead of an offense this early, especially with new schemes being installed on both sides. But layered underneath all of that is the increasingly loud signal from national and local media alike that this front office is genuinely monitoring the Diggs situation closely. Multiple respected insiders have specifically framed it in a way that suggests real, substantive knowledge of where this negotiation actually stands, even if nobody's ready to break concrete news just yet. And here's the thing worth remembering. Diggs reportedly wants to be right back home in the DMV area where he grew up. If there's one realistic natural landing spot remaining on the board, it's this one. So let's actually make the football case for why this signing would make so much sense. This front office used a 3rd-round pick on Antonio Williams out of Clemson, and there's a genuinely compelling statistical comparison worth drawing between him and Stefon Diggs at the same stage of their respective careers. Both players entered the league at roughly 6 feet tall and in the same weight range. Their 40-yard dash times were nearly identical. And in terms of college production, Williams actually posted slightly better numbers than Diggs did during his time at Maryland, racking up more total yardage and touchdowns. The one added dimension Diggs brought into his own rookie season that Williams doesn't necessarily have yet is return specialist experience, giving him a bit more positional versatility early on. But here's the real value proposition. Having a player with Diggs' track record and reputation as a genuinely excellent locker room presence and teammate could serve as a living blueprint for exactly what Antonio Williams' career could look like. Whatever off-field noise has occasionally surrounded Diggs throughout his career, there's never been a real question about his character as a teammate or his competitive fire on the field. The kind of guy who wants the football and isn't afraid to show real emotion about it. Pairing a player like that directly with Williams in the same receiver room could be an enormously valuable developmental accelerant, giving this promising rookie a genuine real-time example of what an early career trajectory towards superstardom actually looks like. Picture a receiver room featuring Terry McLaurin, Stefon Diggs, and Antonio Williams all working together. That would immediately become the best group this franchise has fielded in years, evoking memories of some of the most explosive passing attacks this team has had in recent memory. So why is Diggs still unsigned as camp rolls into August? The likely answer comes down to a combination of lingering off-field perception concerns and, more critically, a genuine gap in contract expectations. Reports from earlier in the offseason suggested this front office was thinking somewhere in the $5 to $7 million range annually, while Diggs and his camp were reportedly seeking something closer to the teens. A reasonable prediction here might land Diggs somewhere around 2 years and $28 million, roughly $14 million annually. Though given how thin the market has become for him at this point, a more realistic outcome could be closer to a 1-year deal in the $10 to $12 million range or a shorter 2-year pact loaded with incentives. And here's the thing worth remembering about Diggs specifically. This is a player who, had he not torn his ankle a couple of seasons ago with Houston, would likely be riding a streak of 8 consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. Even working back from that injury, he still put together a genuinely productive season as essentially a second option in Houston's offense. Rewind all the way back to his very first NFL season with Minnesota, working with a far less accomplished supporting cast around him at the time. And he still delivered 700 yards as a rookie. That's exactly the kind of proof of concept that makes him such a compelling mentor figure for a rookie like Williams entering his own first season. So where does this leave things? With training camp well underway, a promising rookie already battling minor injury, a defense looking dominant early while the offense searches for its footing, and increasingly loud signals from respected league insiders that this front office is genuinely engaged in real conversations, the pieces certainly seem to be lining up. If there's a realistic outside addition still capable of dramatically elevating this receiver room and this offense as a whole heading into the season, it's Stefon Diggs, or effectively nothing. So tell us, what contract do you think would actually get this deal done? A 1-year prove-it contract in the low teens, or a 2-year pact loaded with incentives? And if Diggs does sign, which 6 or 7 receivers do you keep on this roster? Let us know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like this video, drop your predictions in the comments, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a single update as training camp continues to unfold. There's a lot more to track in the days ahead, and we'll be right back here with the next update very soon. Hail to the Commanders!